Welcome back to Freedom Watch. In Orange County, California, two police officers stand accused of turning a routine detention of a homeless man into murder. Kelly Thomas was allegedly tasered 4 times, then the cops allegedly hit him on the head, eventually killing him. These accusations come not from some human rights organization, but from the Orange County District Attorney, who has charged one of the officers with second-degree murder and the other with manslaughter. The DA himself is known for his strong backing of law enforcement, and he has a wonderful reputation throughout the country. But he has said that this case shows how Americans have the right to self-defense, even against the police. Here to explain this difficult and unpleasant situation is Orange County District Attorney Tony Rackauckas. Tony, it's a pleasure. Welcome to Freedom Watch.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So you had a very difficult job to do. You're not the U.S. Attorney. You're not the Attorney General in Washington. You are the local prosecutor for whom these police gather evidence in the preparation of your criminal cases. And you came to the conclusion that the two of them intentionally killed this guy and one of them committed murder. What did you learn and how did you learn it?
Well, what you're saying is all correct. And yes, what we have is a video surveillance camera in this parking lot at this Fullerton bus depot, and as well as the various police officers wearing digital audio recording devices. And so we were able to see what was taking place from the pretty much from the initial contact to the time that the contact turned violent, to the time that the victim here, Kelly Thomas, passed out from the use of force. From all that trauma.
What force was used on him by the one officer whom you charged with second-degree murder? What do you say that officer did? What does the tape show him doing?
Well, what that officer did was he took a pretty ordinary contact into a violent situation where this victim would have a right to self-defense. What he did was he put latex gloves on. He menaced the victim, towering over him. The victim, of course, was just sitting there, and he doubled his fist up, and put them in the victim's face, and said, "You see these? These fists are ready to F you up." And then proceeded. There was some more conversation, brief conversation after that, excuse me, and then he proceeded to get him by the arm, and at that point, the victim, understanding he was it was going to be a beating as opposed to anything else, started trying to step away from the officer, and the officer then came after him with a baton and started tackling him. And another officer who was a little ways distant from there came and assisted taking him down, and then other officers came to the scene to come to the aid of that first officer.
Why did the police take his life? He was homeless. He was defenseless. He was inoffensive. He had no weapon. What conceivable reason could they have had for killing him?
Well, he was all of the things that you just said, and when they tackled him and he was squirming and resisting, they just we had the first officer as well as the second and third officer put so much weight on him. They put all their body weight on him, and it compressed his chest, and he couldn't breathe. He was begging for breath, begging for help, and none was forthcoming. And
Tony, I know the laws are different in each state, and I know this happened in California. But what can an ordinary person do to resist unlawful violence when the violence is perpetrated by the police?
Well, you know, to begin with, we do have a United States constitutional right to be free from unlawful or unwarranted excessive force under color of law. So that part doesn't vary from state to state, and I think that citizens, or everybody, not just citizens, but we all have a right to self-defense. So, the difficulty, of course, is I wouldn't want to suggest to people that whenever they disagree with a police officer, they have a right to self-defense. They don't. As long as the officer is doing a lawful duty and using reasonable force, we have a duty to submit to that. So it's a very, very tough problem. But a police officer is not entitled to to just say, I'm going to beat you up and proceed
get away
to do
with
that.
it.
You can defend yourself, or you're not entitled to commit a crime against the person.
Tony Rackauckas, the District Attorney from Orange County, California, we appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much.